Thank you for tuning in to another episode. This is the That's What He Said podcast. I'm your man, Brandon Taylor. That's my boy, Will. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you turn on notifications so you know every time we drop a video.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in again. Let's get cracking, right? Let's just get right to it.
Right
I'm excited.
to it.
Right to it. We want to talk about losing yourself in a relationship today. And I think that's a big one because I think there's a lot of people out there that just lose themselves in a relationship.
We all have at some point.
Absolutely. I definitely have. I'm guilty. Guilty. Get us started.
All right. The issue with losing yourself, I see people, they meet people, you meet somebody and, you're attracted to them for who they are.
Right.
The person you meet. And, fast forward a few years later, now it's like I'm dressing for him.
Right.
I'm doing everything with him or with her. And it's like you
lose that.
Lose who you were. Yeah, right? And it happens all the time. I think it's a natural thing that happens to people. And but the problem is it leads to a stale relationship. You lose your own self-happiness. Right, because everything is for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's almost like if they're not happy, if they're not happy with you, you're not happy.
Right.
And I was talking to somebody the other day about that. And she had gone through a couple of breakups. And I was talking to her about, how the reason why they broke up. And she was like, I do everything he wants. I'm there all the time. He says he's coming over. I'll stop what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm always available. I'm like,
this isn't the NFL. Availability isn't always good.
You're not Joel Embiid who needs to be on the court.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We need some load management in the relationship.
Right. And people think, and I see it happen all the time, and it's funny because I hear a woman say, I'm doing everything he wants me to do.
Right.
And what's the problem? And I'm like, you're doing everything he wants.
Right.
Like a man makes you, a lot of men, we think we want, or we say we want a woman to do everything. I want her to do this, and this, and that. And then it bores the shit out of us.
I was going to say, then you get that gets real boring.
Right.
Really
and
fast.
Predictable and, nothing spontaneous.
Right.
I know people who, in relationships, they schedule everything, but from sex on down.
That's disgusting.
Sunday night.
Unless you're trying for a baby. That's
totally different. Yeah. But now I know people, it's like Sunday night's our night.
No.
But it's just, it's then you feel like you're charged with their happiness, which is the biggest issue. So you see people who I'm miserable, you make me unhappy. In which I don't. We all been there. It's the most untrue thing in the world.
Right.
Somebody can piss you off.
Right.
But
you're in charge of your own happiness.
If you're unhappy, it's you.
Right.
And if that person, what they do in their life makes you happy,
you're allowing that person to make you
happy.
Right.
They can make you feel good, but you still got to be happy. Right. You know what I mean? And
if you can't love yourself, no one else can love you.
Right. And it's almost going back to the last episode about, controlling people, making them do what you want them to do. And then because you're trying to please them, but you're not making yourself happy. And then when they don't reciprocate the way you think you should feel.
Right.
Or, just treat you how, like I said, the whole thing about I'll stay home on Friday night and we're in the house, he's not talking to me or she's not talking to me. So what's the
point?
Right. What's the point? So you're not being yourself. Instead, I just think being an individual keeps the attraction going.
Absolutely.
Even if they don't want you to do it.
Right.
Like, you going out tonight? Yeah, I'll be back.
Deuces.
Right. You got to miss somebody. You got to, and then, like I said, the biggest problem is the happiness. Like this girl I know I talk to and I try to help her through relationships and stuff. She's miserable unless she has a guy.
Well, I don't want to judge, but I feel like she hates herself.
I told her my advice
borderline.
And she was like, what can I do? What's the advice you give me? Fix yourself.
Yeah. That's a self-destructive trait.
And I'm trying to
needing a partner.
It's almost like I could tell when a guy's involved because you're like happy as can be.
Right.
But when you're miserable, I'm lonely, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, you got to learn how to be happy with you first.
That almost makes having a relationship even harder because the person or the partner that she's like seeking out, they might not even be good. But because it's a partner.
None of them were.
Right. But she's all in because it's somebody.
The attention.
It's somebody.
The attention. Then, it's doing, then, when she explains to me, the last relationship, I'm doing everything. I'm taking him out. I'm spending my money. I'm like, do you understand this is not how it's supposed to go?
Right.
I'm not saying sometimes if you're in a relationship, sometimes she pay. I mean, it happens in a relationship. That's different. But when you're dating somebody and everything is on you because all you want them to do is be there for you because that's the part of your happiness. Like you're just losing yourself. It's not like I have another friend and I hate even sometimes doing this because I know when they listen, they're like, he's talking about me. But I would never, ever put names out there.
Nah, but we got to keep it real.
Right. I'm just gonna switch the story up, but she likes hockey.
Okay.
And grew up loving hockey. Husband doesn't. He likes, golf.
Right.
So she doesn't like look at any hockey at all.
Right.
Like it's not in her life anymore. And that was her love. Like, she tried to play it.
Right.
And she won't do it. It's like totally out of her personality. Other things she used to do when she was younger, she doesn't do any of it. Everything she does is for this person, for him, because it makes him happy.
Yeah, that's wild.
From food on down.
Oh, that's crazy. I could never give up food that I
like. It's almost like, all right, I want steak tonight. He wants burgers. Guess what?
We had burgers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or, I want Chick-fil-A. He wants McDonald's. He's only going to stop at McDonald's.
Well, first of all, I'm questioning this man's decision-making skills. If he's choosing burgers and McDonald's over Chick-fil-A,
but it's micro things,
right?
That are you're losing yourself for this person who, and people don't realize the more you do that, the less. I don't know if it's respect or the less.
Respect's definitely a factor,
right? They have for you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, even though they can love you,
right?
But not respect you and respect your feelings.
And it's also that difference of potentially loving but not being in love.
Right.
Right? Because you're losing the person you were.
So when you know you're in love,
right.
you want to do, you want burgers?
Right.
You want a steak?
Yeah.
You want Chick-fil-A? Okay, let's go.
Right.
Because that's when you're in love, you more that way. But when you start in this controlling and leads to the losing yourself and you we all let it happen to us. And like I said, I remember even in relationships I was in, in the beginning, I'm attracted to her for the way she dresses. Next thing you know, she's like, how's this look? No, you used to pick your clothes out. I can see you saying, how do I look?
Right.
But more so like, should I buy this? What do you think about this? If I wasn't here, you would buy what you like.
Pick? Exactly.
I want you to still be, guess what? Even if I don't like it, be you. Where's something that
makes
maybe
you happy.
Right? If you like the way that looks, how about these shoes? Well, before you met me, you had 1,000 pair of shoes.
Right.
Don't ask me, do I like these shoes? It doesn't wear them and I hope maybe I'll be surprised. But don't if I'm picking out everything for you. And like I said, the problem is it's a male trait.
It is.
Like we want to control all that. Like it's like we said.
We think we do.
Right. We think we do. It's a protective thing, but we're not attracted to it.
Well, there's that, and there's that, all the people that want someone who's submissive.
Yeah.
Supposedly, right?
But you really don't.
You really don't.
No.
Like that becomes so non-desirable in a very short amount of time.
It's like,
or like you said, losing respect. And then when you lose respect for someone, how do you have a partnership with that person?
It's almost like I knew a guy, he had a big time job. He was an executive. And his wife was a stay-at-home mom, which is, a job into itself.
Absolutely.
So it's no.
Absolutely.
But she wanted to get a job multiple times because she just wants something to do.
Right.
Like once the kids got older, she's like, I want to get a job. He's like, nah, my wife's not working. Because I think in his mind, how it looks. The optics of the people on his level, all their wives. But if you talk to him, when you're out having a drink, he be talking about, man, this CEO chick, man, she's this, she's that. Like, man, ain't nothing like a powerful woman.
Right.
But
meanwhile,
you're pushing that one down. What is that?
Right.
Like, I mean, I really honestly want to know what that is. It's because men are attracted to independent women, strong women. And you could be independent and stay at home mom. It's no shame to stay at home.
Absolutely not.
But, hey, you don't have to just be submissive to him at home. Just stay at home, take care of the kids, and have your life too.
Right.
Go see your girlfriends on Friday night. And I'm telling you, I keep telling women all the time, they always want to stay home. Stay home. you think he wants you home. He wants you home.
Right.
But
he doesn't really want you.
That it gets old. Like I said, you on the couch and he's on Instagram. He's looking at, the hub. He's looking at while you sitting over there on the couch.
He said the hub.
He's texting his friends pictures of girls that he's finding online.
Right.
While you sitting over there, your sweats and your tea,
watching a show together.
Yeah, bored to death. Yeah, we're together, not really, but bored to death because you could have went out with your girlfriends and had wine night, but he wanted you here. But while he's, it's just that's a control issue. But you're allowing yourself to be lost in this relationship.
Right, you're lost.
Yeah.
What's one thing that you feel like you couldn't, like if you didn't do it today, you would lose yourself? Like you would lose your own happiness in your own relationship?
Just being social.
Okay.
I'm very social, so I go out with or without her.
Right.
And I mean, it's been times that, the guys want to go out and I'll be like, I don't feel like it tonight. I'll stay home with her, get her some time. But in a month, I'm going out at least once.
Good balance.
Yeah. I go out with her and without her in the same environment. I don't care. We can I'll go to a sports bar with her. I'll go dancing with her or go dancing without her. But if I didn't do that, I'd be miserable.
Right.
Because I wouldn't be me. And I'll even backtrack to when I moved out here to the suburbs from Philly. And me and her first got together. I was depressed. And I couldn't figure out why. It took me a while. But when I grew up in Philly, like people who knew me there, my house there was the house that everybody came to. So I always was social. Always Friday night, somebody's over there. Saturdays, the week. I mean, people just came through all the time. We always hung out. So that was me my whole life. I was brought up that way. My parents were that way, always entertaining. When I got over here and lived in the town of Medford I lived in, and I was like, didn't know anybody.
Right. You don't do anything
but her. So I'm like in the house all the time.
Right. You're relying on her for your social.
Yeah, and she's like, and she was telling me like, you gotta go meet these people. I'm like, but I don't know these people. Like it was so weird. Yeah, it was weird, and going from being a majority to a minority in an area that was kind of tough too.
Yeah, city to suburb by itself is already enough.
Yeah. So, but it was the first time in my life that I went through like depression, some type of anxiety. It was just because I wasn't myself.
Right. Well, you're out of your element.
Right, and it was like I had no outlet.
Right.
And I wasn't going to just keep crossing the bridge, going back and cross the bridge to go hang out with my old friends. We're getting older, everybody. I had kids now.
Gets busy. Right.
But once I started meeting people, and I think it's once my kids got older, they got into sports, I started meeting other parents, other people who wanted to hang out and stuff like that. That's when I felt myself again.
Right.
And so I knew that was missing, but it wasn't that she lost. She didn't take it away from me. Like I didn't lose myself, but I was just so... It just wasn't me. Like,
well, that's the thing. It's not always that someone's taking it away from you.
Right.
You can self-sabotage and do it yourself.
Oh, yeah.
But if you weren't yourself, she might end up being like, who is this guy?
Right.
I don't know him anymore.
Because when I met her, I was like...
social.
Yeah, we was out 3-4 days a week hanging out. And then... But I self-sabotage. I became like just under her all the time because that was the only thing I had. But there was people out there trying to get me to come out.
Right.
But I was just like, I'm just going to chill with her.
Right.
And but you just can't like, and again, she helped me through that because she was the one telling me like, I can't be your everything.
Right.
You gotta have somebody to talk to. I can't hear. I don't want to hear all your problems.
Well, the problem too is that not everybody is willing to do that part.
Right. No, she's
They're
hardcore.
Afraid to like potentially hurt the other person's feelings, or they just don't say anything because they're just.
It was like
I don't even know.
There was a trip. I forgot where it was, but maybe in Vegas or something. And I had a huge issue. Like I don't know what it was. I used to fly all the time. Stopped flying because I don't know why. I just got this huge anxiety about flying. It was a trip to Vegas, and it was with some family members of mine. I think my brother and them went, and I was like, I can't do it. Thinking she would stay home.
Right.
She was like,
"See ya."
Hey, that's your issue. You gotta get over that.
Right.
And I'm like, that's horrible. Like, that's harsh. Like, stay home.
Stay with me.
I'm like, but in reality, that was the best thing you could do. I mean, she let me know. I mean, and this happened a million times in our relationship, whereas it's times that I couldn't. I remember in the beginning of COVID, I told you, we were supposed to go do a couple shows, a couple tone shows, and they were like back scars.
Right.
And she was like, you didn't get back to that. That's on you. Peace. And she went down to Baltimore, like, what the? You really gonna leave me and go without me? Yep.
Deuces.
And it's like, and then even what the issue was, it's just more the fact of, yeah, she got to still be her.
Right. Exactly. It goes both ways.
Why am she not gonna let me stop her flow? And when it comes to me and her, we good. But far as anything outside, like people stop going out. Like I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. But I just don't see it. Like I have friends of mine who only hang with their family.
Yeah, no, it's wild.
Oh, that's it.
That's wild.
It's either with her family, his family, or some extension of the family, and that's it. Very
just
minimum.
A small like worldview. You need like a diversity.
And it's like, and it's y'all, just you two in
Always.
the family, and you two in this part of the family. You two, like, when do you go out and let your hair down? Because I've seen these different people out without the spouse hearing it.
They're different.
Totally different people.
Yep.
Because that's who they are.
Right. But they don't let that flow when they're with like the family.
How many times you at the bar or the restaurant or whatever we go to? I guess they bar restaurants, whatever, and somebody's there. And they're having the greatest time, or acting a certain way, having fun. Nothing bad.
And then you see them out with like their family.
Or if the husband comes sometime during the night, like he comes later, and this person acts totally different.
Right, changes exactly. Yeah, because they're afraid to be themselves in front of somebody else.
How do you live that way?
See, I always laugh. Besides that, I always laugh when I'd see, especially because like kids sports and stuff, you see people out, and then you see people at like a game the next day, and they're like,
yeah,
Hi, Brandon.
It's a half a speed. Yeah.
Nice to see you, Brandon. Hope you had a fun weekend. And
Right.
I'm like, I know you had a fun
right.
weekend.
Like, who was
You don't even talk like that.
Who was that? As a comedian who was talking about that. Epps.
Was it Mike Epps?
And he was saying, when you see your boy when he with his girl.
Oh yeah.
but when when he by himself, like
Where the hoes at?
Where the hoes at?
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? Where the hoes at? And it's like, but when you with your girls, like, hey, John, I'll talk to you later.
How's the kids? Good. Sounds great, buddy.
Now, so here is another thing I always talk about. Like, I don't know the balance of being yourself, and like a lot of guys say you don't expose so much to a woman about who you are.
Right.
I know it's an old school way of thinking, and when people talk about how younger guys like these days are more expressive or more show that side of them, like
just like open, emotionally available. I
think and like because I've been teased by my buddies. Y'all know who y'all are. Like, oh, you tell your girl too much,
right?
Why you gotta tell her who was there? Why you gotta? I'm like, I can't. I have to be myself. If I'm gonna be with somebody in the commitment for a long period of time, how long can I fake who I am?
How long can you lie? Not even like physically lie out.
No, you're lying.
Like you're lying about who you are.
Like I said, I don't want to be the person at the place we all go out to hang out, and it's us there, and all of a sudden she's coming with her girlfriend. They stop through, and I don't know they coming through, and she sees me like, who the hell is that?
Right.
I've never seen that side of him.
Right.
Because I don't want to make this fake Will.
That's like a fake persona.
Yeah, with somebody I live with.
Right. Will is Will.
Right. And guess what? And if Will's faulty,
right,
he's gonna be faulty. Right. Will. This is what it is.
That's who I am.
Yeah, that's what I am. I'd rather be that and her be like roll her eyes at me and like, yeah, that's him acting up.
Right.
Then him like, oh my God, I never knew you talked like that.
Right.
I never knew you acted like that.
So the funny part that kills me is like my thing is to this day still video games.
Yeah.
That's my escape from reality, and I enjoy it.
Who's been teasing you about it?
No, nobody really teases me. But one of the funny things.
Hey, I just put an Xbox. Don't worry about it.
I get it, right? So like, I met my girlfriend on an app,
mm-hmm.
and one of our funniest things to date is the fact that on hers was like, I don't remember exactly what the question was on there, but like you could answer the prompts. And it was like something I don't find cute. And it was like staying up till 2 a.m. playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And I was like, and you know me. I stay up till 2 a.m. playing Call of Duty.
3.
And so I almost took it as a challenge.
Yeah.
Like, I got to prove her wrong.
Right.
Then now look at us. Right.
Right.
Great happiness. And now she supports it. But the funny part about it is, I don't let it run my life. I do it because it's like, I work a full-time job. I run a company. I coach multiple soccer teams. I have my kids. I'm a very busy person. So like, that's my little escape.
But no, I get it because like it's an escape. Yeah, that's why I got one again. I used to play all the time years ago, and I would wait to, when everybody went to bed.
Yeah, same.
Kids go to bed. I'm just like, all right, I need to unwind.
Well,
it
that's
just
the key
takes your
thing.
mind away.
I'm not the type of. I'm not playing it while like the kids are awake and doing things. I'm not.
While they tearing the house up.
Right. I'm not avoiding responsibilities as an adult to play video games. It's completely different. That's separate.
The house is
you
burning
have
down.
problems if you're doing that.
Yeah, and people probably do. I'm sure it's do.
100%. I know people. Even playing on Call of Duty, you can hear people with their babies in the background.
Yeah.
I'm like, sir.
Well, sure, you can go.
Sir, you have a baby on your lap.
You can go on TikTok Live and see that.
I'm sure.
I'm like, women be on live. I'm like, and they hold on for a second. What? Hold on. Let me hold on. I'll change your pamper in a minute.
Oh my gosh, take care of your babies, please.
But no, so that's why I did it, because that was something I always did. And a friend of mine, and it's funny, a friend of mine older than me, and he was big time job on the stock exchange. And every night, kids go to bed. He tells his wife, "I got the kitchen. Right. I clean the dishes." And he would sit on boom, play Halo.
Yep.
Like for hours.
Halo.
And because he just needed that type of, that was his thing to unwind. Everybody and people, I don't know why people poo on it. Like it's like, oh, you're playing games. What's the difference? People
tell me everything you do for fun.
Well, how about?
And I'll find something childish in there too.
But it's okay to sit on your phone for hours playing Candy Crush.
Right.
It's still a game.
That's mature.
It's still a damn. And so it's just because people try to put a little stigmatism on, like, get off the video games and go do something. No, it's not taking over my life.
Right.
It's just something.
Exactly. If it takes over your life, completely different subject.
Yeah, it's just a relax. It's the same thing as me reading a book or watching a movie at the end of the night. It's the same thing, but games are stimulating and it kind of gets you.
Well, it's funny. I play with friends as well, so it's there's the social aspect, and it's people that don't live near me anymore because I moved away.
Yeah,
that's my social aspect of it.
I think people who scoff at people who do certain things are not happy with themselves anyway. They don't have anything.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
And get something. Get something to do and stop talking about other people,
so that you don't lose yourself.
Right. Yeah, because if you stop playing games, guess what? What'd you do?
I feel like I'd be an angrier person.
Right.
Like I genuinely do. Like it's a good. It's a good
now
release.
You can go online and safely shoot somebody.
Right.
On the game.
Exactly.
On Call of Duty. You get all your anger out.
Right.
Because you have to yell at somebody in the room. Right. I mean, it's a lot of that. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'd be a much unhappier person if I didn't. At least I don't play as insane amount of time as I used to, but even just like we get on MLB the show, just like boom, let me just hit a couple baseballs real quick.
And the thing is, the thing I keep saying is if she had a problem with that, you could talk about it and still go, this is what I like to do.
Right.
And you shouldn't be like, I'll stop for you. Now, that's one thing if she comes over and she's there and you're like, ignore her.
No, I play when people are asleep.
Right. But, or you going out I can't go out to eat. I can't go out to the bar tonight. You should
playing video games.
Or she can't go tonight and you be like, oh, well, I'm not going because she's not going.
Right.
No, you should still be your individual person. Stop staying home, stop doing everything they want to do, everything they want to eat, everywhere they want to go.
Be an individual.
I mean, I'm tired of my friends telling me, hey, I always want to go to this place. I'm like,
then go to it.
I'm like, it's 20 minutes away. He don't like the place. So he won't give it up for you. Well, call a couple of your girls and go.
Yes.
Well, I don't.
Boo.
It doesn't work. And that same guy is behind your back on the hub. Oh, while you sit across from him.
Hey, we got 2 mentions of the hub.
Yes.
I love it.
Not that I know anything about it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
You know nothing personally.
I'm just saying you sitting there doing all that, and my last thing is like, I'm saying this from experience because, the people who I've talked to, and it's been numerous people through my life who are like that, and they're doing it for these people. I know the other person, and I know how selfless they are, and there's other stuff they do when the other people aren't around, and how they not really just being selfish. Not that they don't love them, but they're just
knowing multiple people in a relationship. You get it. It's very eye opening,
and you feel bad. Like, but you can't break code. You know what I mean? I feel bad. Like, I want to tell you that
it's not my space to say.
Yeah,
not my place.
You doing. But
I can tell you that seeing that has helped me in my own situations.
Yeah.
Because you learn a lot about yourself. You're like, oh wow, that's what that's like.
Yeah.
When I do that, or when they do.
It was like I saw a girl today online. She made a little TikTok. It's funny. It got a lot of responses, but she was like, having male friends made me not want to have a boyfriend because you see how like you get to see the other side of it,
Right. You see who they are when they're not with you.
right? And it's like, and you almost want to. It's just, it's not saying it's a bad like you shouldn't get in a relationship, but once you understand how we are, you know how to navigate it.
Yeah.
You know how women are. You know how to navigate. Guess what? You go out tonight. She might be upset,
Right.
but guess what?
She'll be fine.
Yeah, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. Just don't lose yourself over this.
Do the opposite of Eminem. Don't lose yourself.
Right. Keep yourself together. And your relationship will actually, I'm telling you, and I know how, whatever, women work, they work better when you are yourself.
Absolutely.
Even if they don't like that. Because it gives them, women like a little, they don't want it so even kill.
Boring.
Yeah.
It's boring.
You
Need a little
know,
spice.
when your girl was talking about, when she ran into those girls, like, I was talking to this guy last night, and he was this, and she was like, that was probably my boyfriend.
And it was.
And it was. And not that she was jealous or anything, but trust me, women get little feels about that. Right. They were talking nicely about you. Exactly. So it's like, okay, she was talking about my man.